You're gonna have to go through hell. Worse than any nightmare that you ever dreamed. But in the end, I know you'll be the one standing. You know all there is to know about fighting. So there's no sense us going down that same old road again. To beat this guy, you need speed. You don't have it. And your knees can't take the pounding. So hard running is out. And you got arthritis in your neck. And you've got calcium deposits on most of your joints. So sparring is out. So what we'll be calling on is good old-fashioned blunt force trauma. Horsepower. Heavy-duty, cast-iron, pile-driving punches that will have to hurt so much they'll rattle his ancestors. Every time you hit him with his shot, it's got to feel like he tried kissing the express train. Yeah, let's start building some hurting bombs.
Tony the Duke Burton.
Yes.
From the Rocky series. He's passed away. This is a tragic day because he's probably the most underrated actor from the Rocky movies. In case you guys don't know who we're talking about, we were talking about Tony Burton. He plays Tony Duke Evers in all the Rocky movies. He's Apollo Creed's trainer, and later he's Rocky's trainer. And in fact, in the new movie Creed, his son is the one who I think trains one of his opponents. But fantastic actor. I mean, if you look at any of those movies, any scene he's in, he's 100% dialed in. And I can't even say the same about like that to Stallone or any of the main characters for that matter. But every scene he is in, he is 100% dialed in. Just a fantastic actor. Big loss. I'm bumming over this. Jake, what do you think? You don't really care, do you?
He was great in all the Rocky movies I've seen, which is the first one.
The first one, yes.
I will be seeing Creed in like 2 weeks.
Well, that excerpt was from Rocky Balboa, Rocky 6, where he is about to train him, and he's like 59 years old, and he moves his neck and cracks it. He's like, you got arthritis in your neck. Fantastic actor. But anyway, guys, just thought we'd start out with that because this is a bit of a improvised episode. We're kind of just doing all this on the fly, but it's Oscar weekend.
It is.
This is the biggest weekend in Hollywood.
Indeed.
And I'm actually going to be in LA for the Oscars.
Yeah, you've told me like 500 times.
Because I'm freaking out. I'm probably going to see some people at LAX. I've never been to LA before. I cannot wait to go. And it's going to be probably really busy.
Yeah.
A lot of traffic.
That's LA every day.
That's LA every day. I love LA. I cannot wait to experience it. That'll be a lot of fun. But the Oscars, personally, let me just throw this out there, what I think about the Oscars. It's my favorite day of the year, other than Christmas. I'm not kidding. I like it more than my birthday. I like it more than Easter. I like it more than all the holidays, 4th of July, whatever. The Oscars are my favorite day of the year because it's a celebration of movies. And you can talk about other award shows like the Grammys, not the Golden Globes, Emmys and stuff like that. And, say they're a celebration of TV, music. But what I think the Oscars, what I love about the Oscars so much is that it's just an all-around celebration of movies. And movies are my favorite thing. I love talking about movies. That's why we have this podcast going on. We're studying film. And this is just an overall celebration. Now, I will agree, the ceremony itself, I have problems with a few times. Like I watch it every year. It's not always perfect. The year Neil Patrick Harris hosted, my God, that whole suitcase thing was awful. I didn't think he did a good job. But it's always interesting to see everyone at the Oscars. Like I think the Golden Globes is a really cool program to watch, but they don't matter at all. Whoever's voting, it doesn't matter at all. And then when you compare it to like the Grammys or something, it's just a lot. There's a lot of music to talk about. I gotta get my charger. Oh crap! I gotta get my charger. Jake, what do you think about the Oscars?
Well, we have very differing opinions on the Oscars. I mean, I still watch them, but it's not nearly close to my favorite day of the year. I don't really think they matter at all. I always say how much I hate award shows, and I end up watching them all anyway. But yeah, the Oscars, they're okay. Like I'll watch them. I won't be happy about a lot of things, but it's the award show.
It's an award show, and I think a lot of other people feel like that too. What do you think about the Oscars so white thing that's been in the media lately?
I think that's not really the Oscars' fault, more as just Hollywood in general. Like, I think we've had this conversation before where it's more or less there aren't enough roles for black people in general. So, proportionately wise, the things that are nominated show that.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same lines as that. In fact, all my classes this week, aside from media and culture, we talked about that and how it's a big deal. I feel like actually this year isn't as bad as last year, where the actor from Selma, or just Selma in general, got snubbed in so many categories. The director, Ava DuVernay, the lead actor, who I thought should have won, none of them were nominated. I think it's messed up, but like in regards to that, and we won't harp on this that much longer, but like I think the way it's done, the way it's voted, is they have the Academy, which is everyone who's been nominated in the past and everyone who's won, or critically acclaimed director and has enough things on his resume, and you submit your resume and then they accept you. And like I think that's as good as it can be. Unlike the Golden Globes, where it's just a foreign press who isn't required to see every movie, or the People's Choice Awards, which again is just the most popular movies that year that people saw and they vote. These guys are required to see every movie to vote, and they're elected in, they're experienced, they know what they're talking about. So like directors are voting for directors, actors for actors, and then overall critics for like movies. Everyone votes for the best picture. So I feel like it's the best it can be right now, but we're seeing some setbacks of that, which is since it's been going on for so long and you have white people to begin with, when you keep nominating white people, you get less and less, diversity, and it becomes a bit of a problem. And we're seeing some of the repercussions of that, but I think it's the best it can be. Now, in regards to the show itself, like the program, the problem I've had with it every year, aside from, maybe they get like a bad host, is it's so damn long.
Yeah.
It's 4 hours.
And it's not like the Grammys, where like the thing I like about the Grammys, the actual show itself, is more or less it's just like a concert. It's a really long concert, and they televise maybe like 5 or 6 actual awards.
And the Oscars are trying to do that. Instead of having a bunch of like montages in between, for the best song category last year, for best song, they had every single performer who was nominated for best song perform their song. We don't need to hear all those. We don't need to hear any of them.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's kind of weird. Like if you choose one, it's like, oh, why didn't they choose the other ones? And of course they're gonna win, stuff like that. But like when Skyfall came out, we had Adele playing Skyfall. We had U2 playing a song from from an African movie. Like every song nominated, they performed. We don't need to see all 5 of those. It's the movie. It's a movie award show. Like that's the thing. Like they could erase that and save a half hour right there.
So my question for you is, like, we both agree they're way too long, and like the Grammys, it's a music show, so we see all the songs more or less. If we were to get rid of, like, televise a lot less of the awards, what would the show be in its place?
Well, it's not that less of the awards. It's just like you can save time by not showing all the performances of the best song. You can save time. They bring out a presenter for every single thing, which is fine, but like for sound mixing and editing, I say you just knock them both out at once instead of going to commercial, coming back. That's kind of as good as it can be, or have the host do something, but like just they can save a half hour if they didn't do every song. But okay, well, we're getting sidetracked, so let's get to this year's Oscars, 2016, the 88th Academy Awards. We're going to be going through who we think should win and who we think is going to win. So we have like a should-would type thing going on here.
Yes, I have not, gonna preface this by saying I have not seen many movies.
Okay.
Out of these, I plan on seeing a lot of them tomorrow after this recording. But
you saw The Revenant.
Saw The Revenant.
You saw Mad Max.
Mad Max. Saw Big Short.
And well, Revenant and Mad Max are the 2 biggest movies this year, I think, because they have the most nominations. I think it's 10 and 13 nominations for each of those. I think
I'm seeing Spotlight tomorrow and Steve Jobs tomorw.
Okay, Steve Jobs is nominated for 2 acting.
I'm going to see him eventually.
You're going to see him eventually. I just caught up on some last night. I just saw Room last night, which I will be going in depth on when we get to the nominations that movie is nominated for. And I watched all of the live action shorts this morning.
How were they?
They were really good. There was only one I didn't like. That was like, I don't know which one I'd pick.
Is it like 4 or 5?
There are 5.
5.
And they range from 10 to 25 minutes each. And maybe 27 minutes. And the first one that played was the one I didn't like. So I got like a package on iTunes that had all 5 of them. I do that every year. I usually watch them with my dad, but I don't know. I wanted to do this show. So I watched all 5 of them, and the first one, which was Ave Marie, it's the only one I didn't like. But I'll get in more in that when we get to that category. So we're gonna start with like the less I don't want to say less important, but the less famous categories. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start with sound. We're gonna go with the sound nominations. So like sound editing, which
All right, sound editing.
maybe we're kind of some stuff about sound.
I've
We're doing
seen
a podcast.
every movie nominated in this.
Yes. So we got here are the nominations. So we got Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Sicario, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Sound editing. So first, I guess, what's the difference between sound editing and mixing?
I think mixing is like kind of combine. I mean, this is all speculation. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but it's like combining it into like. So if there's an explosion, it sounds like it's actually happening there, let alone just like an explosion sound effect over it.
Right.
Whereas editing, I guess, is just putting all the sounds where it needs to be. I'm not sure.
Mixing's probably like mixing music and dialogue and sound effects and all that. And well, I guess that's. And mixing might be like through like a montage what you have going on.
Yeah,
Editing
all right,
might
so
just be the actual sound.
We're gonna preface this by saying we don't know what
we
this
don't know what the
category
difference is. But I mean, so obviously what we just said, the Mad Max and the Revenant are the biggest movies this year. But I do feel like Star Wars. It's totally possible Star Wars could go out with winning nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it did get something, it could be sound editing. Like you think of the lightsabers, just the complexity of all those sounds.
I would want it to be sound editing for nothing else other than the Wilhelm scream.
Yes.
Still going strong 7 movies later.
But when you think about it, I mean, a lot of those sounds were kind of reused.
Yeah,
from
there was
other
a lot of that,
movies.
but like then there's like newer sounds. Like Kylo Ren's lightsaber kind of sounds different.
That is
Looks
true.
different too. But like there's new sound. I think Star Wars sound effects have always been great. That's going to be my pick.
You think that? Well, you think that should win?
I think that should win.
But
yes.
okay, so I don't think it. I think it should win. But Sicario was a movie that didn't get a lot of nominations this year, and I feel like that could just take one. But I really do think it's gonna be Mad Max because Mad Max had so many things going on in all those action sequences, like in music, dialogue. It's kind of unbelievable, like how well those things are put together, and that's just not editing in general. That includes all the sound editing. So many things going on, like the countless fight scenes. When they're in the storm, the tornado, and you hear all the sand. Like it's very detailed sound. I think Mad Max might pull that one. So I think
so that's your should or
that's my thing. Will win.
all right.
I think Star Wars. I think we both think Star Wars should win.
Yes.
I think Mad Max will win.
I could see that. Mad Max probably will win. I don't know if there's any like amazing sound editing in The Revenant.
Right.
I don't remember much from Sicario sound wise being that amazing. So it'd probably be Martian or Mad Max. Yeah.
Martian and Mad Max. Okay. Well, let's just go to sound mixing next, which is it exactly the same?
It's Bridge of Spies
Bridge of
instead of
Spies.
Sicario.
I did see Bridge of Spies.
I did not.
You did not. I saw it last week. I don't think anything remarkable about the sound is in there, but
Still going Star Wars.
you still
should
going
win.
Star Wars?
Absolutely. Will win? I guess Martian or Mad Max again.
You think The Martian?
Well,
I don't know
it's
about The
a
Martian.
space movie, so there's always like you have to play
You're
with
right.
sound like that.
An Interstellar one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. Space movies usually, and I think Gravity won it, so that's a good point with sound mixing in space
Then again,
movies.
Star Wars is a space movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. I think I'll go should and would Star Wars there.
Oh, you think Star Wars will win?
I think Star Wars will win that one.
All right.
Just 'cause, I mean, I don't know. We were talking about it. I think it will.
All right.
So now
What's
we
up
have.
next?
Okay, so we hit. So now we're going to. We're actually going to go to a big one now. We're going to go to visual effects. You
I
ready?
have seen all of these too.
So that's Ex Machina, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
All right.
Briefly with Ex Machina,
yes,
for that to get that, I think has the least.
it's the least, but I think it's the most seamless.
It's the most. I think it's the most effective.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna win, but I think it got nominated because the visual effects artists who voted.
Just the
were
first
like,
time
"That's
you
well
see
done."
the girl,
Yeah.
like when she's walking out and she's like mostly robot.
It plays into her character.
Yeah.
Like, you believe she's a robot because of the visual effects and how seamless they are. So, I mean, that...
This is a tough
I think that Ex Machina should win.
Do you?
But just because of the fact alone that, like, I thought she was a robot. Like, that it never crossed my mind she was human. Mm-hmm. It was that believable. I bought into it so much. And I know that's, like, that's one visual effect in the whole movie. But, like, excuse me, but that is... That's the most effective use of visual effects. And coming from a guy who does not do that, I would vote for it. But, like, I don't think it's going to win. I think it's going to come down to, like, either... I think Mad Max... Well, again, with Mad Max, is everything was so practical.
It was a good use of practical and actual effects.
Right.
That, like,
you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
So that's another good one.
Like, I hate going against Star Wars over anything, but I think Mad Max probably should and would. I think for me.
I think it's gonna be Mad Max as well.
Yeah.
Just because the action sequences, like, the thing is, whatever you thought about the movie, you cannot deny technically that movie is done
it's beautiful.
phenomenally. And same with wait a minute, the bear scene in The Revenant. Oh shit. The bear scene alone.
I don't know if one scene constitutes an entire
good.
Oscar though.
You're right, and that goes back to the Ex Machina.
Ex Machina might, yeah. I think Mad Max is probably gonna get it. It deserves it.
You think so?
Star Wars is always good too.
I take back my Ex Machina should win. I think Revenant should win, but I think Mad Max will win it. So my should and would.
All
right, we're busting through. So now we're probably gonna get more in depth on these next ones. So now we're going to go to, let's skip. Let's not do short films yet. Let's do. Do you want to do? We'll do short films because you haven't seen them.
All right. So my pick is one of them should win, and another one will win.
Another one will win. All right.
Yeah.
So any of them. Well, how about this? You pick after I describe each one to you.
All right.
Just
so
on my description. Yeah, on my description alone, you can vote. So we're gonna go the live action first. Okay. So you have Ave Maria, which. So this is the only one I didn't like. I thought it was too long. It was all about religion. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like an experimental type movie. I'm actually just not even going to get into that one because I just don't think that one will win.
I want that one to win now.
Okay. So day one. So first of all, it's Ave Maria, day one. Everything will be okay, shock, and stutterer. Mm-hmm. So day one is I think it's an American movie. It's from U.S. And it's about a translator from, I think, Iraq or Afghanistan. He was working with the United States military in Afghanistan. And it's like her first big day on the job. And she's going with a group of soldiers and they're going in to raid something. And they come across this woman who's pregnant. And she's like very pregnant. She's in labor basically. And she needs to get the baby out, and they don't know where the husband is. And this other guy who she's working with, who's an interpreter, it's like against his religion to go see a woman, even though he's a doctor. He can't see this person because they're not in the same religion, and she has to go deliver the baby. But they think the baby's dead, and its arm's sticking out, and it's not moving. So she's like describing what's going on, and the doctor's like telling her what to do, and then the husband comes. Brutal movie, so sad. Like, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's pretty amazing and very sad, very serious, like puts a lot of stuff in perspective, but kind of a bummer movie, but really well made. So then Everything Will Be Okay is from Germany. Mm-hmm. This one I really liked. It opens up with this dad, and he's going to what you learn later is his divorced wife, recently divorced wife. He's picking up his child. And I guess it's his turn to have her. So they go out shopping, and he's like buying her whatever she wants. And you're like, oh, this is really sweet. And then they go to some firm, and he gets an emergency passport, and he gets the daughter to sign something. And then he like takes her going bumper carts, and then you later learn, oh, he's trying to run away with the daughter. Ooh. He's taking her away, and like he just got an emergency passport because apparently he couldn't get out of the country, and then the flight's delayed, and the daughter starts questioning a lot of stuff.
How old's the daughter?
She's like 6, and fantastic actress, really good. The acting in that movie is probably the best out of all of these, so that was really good. So then Shock, I'm not. I think it's from Siberia. Is that? Do they speak Serbia? What's Serbia? It was a war. This was like a period piece, basically, between Serbian and what is it?
The opposition.
Is it that? Yeah, the opposition. So, I don't know. But it followed these two kids. This movie tore my heart out. Oh, it's so brutal. It's during this war. And these two boys, they're probably like, I don't know, 10 or 11, and their area, their town is like under occupation, and there are all these soldiers there. And anyway, this one big boy has his friend over all the time who has a bicycle. He's like selling like cigarettes to the soldiers, and he shouldn't be doing that, but he's trying to gain money so he can get a bicycle. So then one day they take his friend's bicycle, and his friend gets pissed at him, and then his friend doesn't talk to him for a day, and then their bus gets held up by these soldiers, and they're looking in the kid who's got his bike stolen's backpack, and he has they're like books from Serbia, and they're like, you shouldn't have these. And the big kid who he got his bicycle taken away from was like, oh no, they're mine, and they kind of made up, but then it takes a turn for the worst, and they're basically like forced to leave, and it's just horrible. It was a really dark movie, but really well done. Okay, so Stutterer, this one probably will be your favorite. This one's from England, or the United Kingdom, and basically it followed this guy who has a stutter. He's really speech impediment, and he's been typing with this woman online through some like relationship website for 6 months. He's been messaging her, and she's finally coming to London, and she wants to meet up with him. I guess she's there on business, and he has to like face his fear of going to speak to her with his impediment, and like the movie is basically him like trying to gain the courage to do it, it was pretty funny at the same time. It was like really heartfelt and kind of sweet, but really interesting movie. That one's definitely worth checking out. I think that this Everything Will Be Okay one from Germany, I think that one will win it, just because I thought it was really well acted, and it wasn't as devastating as Day One and Shock were. While Stutterer, it ended on like a note. I felt like it ended too early. So like this isn't really a spoiler, but it ends right before he speaks to her. Wow. So you're like, okay, was it all about just him summoning the courage? Like I've seen that before. So I think it's gonna be this Everything Will Be Okay one. I think that one should and would win. But I'd be all right with any of them aside from Ave Maria.
All right, from those descriptions, I guess the premise, I think the two premises I like a lot are the divorced dad and the stutter one. I kind of want to go with the stutter one, but
it could win.
You did say that would be my favorite, and I want to be independent, so I'm going to go with the father and his daughter.
So Everything Will Be Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, short film animated. I've seen one of these. This is my weakest skip that one. We should probably skip that one. Yeah. I saw World of Tomorrow because it's on Netflix, and it was really cool. I don't understand the story at all, but it looked really cool. It's really cool animation. All right, so we'll skip that one. So now we're gonna get into categories we can actually talk on. So, film editing. Do you have that?
Film editing. I'm looking for it.
Film editing. We have The Big Short nominated, Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, Spotlight, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. Jake.
Spotlight is the only one I have not seen. All right, let's see. Editing-wise, I think The Big Short had really interesting editing.
Absolutely.
Mad Max, I don't know if the editing was anything like that special or different. I guess same with The Revenant. I've not seen
Well, Mad Max.
Just the editing, though, not the effects,
the thing about the editing was that, like, I could follow the action scenes so well. That's the problem I have with a lot of action movies, but the way it was edited, I knew everything that was happening. Like, you watch Transformers movie, you have no idea what's happening in the action. I followed every beat of Mad Max with the editing. And same with The Revenant.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
That's a lot of long takes. So
it's between Star Wars and Big Short for me.
The thing about The Big Short, it used editing in a really unique way.
Yeah. You know what?
I commented on the editing.
I'm gonna go Big Short, should and would.
Should and would. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way
It's like
they
very
edit,
cleverly
It's a lot of
edited.
montages, yeah. And they bring up, when they're explaining, they do the cut scenes to like, who was in the bathtub?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
How can you forget that?
I'm so sorry. All those were edited really well. That whole movie's, I think, like just a spectacular example of editing. I think Big Short should win, but I think Mad Max will win.
All right.
All right, next one.
Yep.
So we're gonna go to foreign language film. I've
I
seen
have
one of these as
seen
well. I was gonna
0.
watch these over the weekend. I know what 3 of them are about. I've seen A War, and I
played the card game War.
It was all right. So Son of Saul is a Holocaust film that apparently is one of the most gripping Holocaust movies since Schindler's List. I heard it's that good. And Thebe is on iTunes, and that one's a religious film. I think Son of Saul will get it just because Holocaust films usually win.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They usually win. If it's the Holocaust, they're probably getting it. So I think Son of Saul has got that wrapped up. Should and would. Makeup and hairstyling. Mad Max Fury Road.
Mad Max. Next.
The 100-year-old man who climbed out a window and disappeared. That's the longest title I think I've ever seen.
It's cut off on my... Oh, wait, no, it's not.
You see, like I think every year this happens with this category specifically. They're like a movie that's not nominated for anything else. They just throw in there because they need to hit 5, or I think they only did 4.
I only see 3.
You see 3? Oh, yeah. The title looks like it was 4. There's 3.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do 2. But yeah, the 100-year-old man who climbed out a window, and I bet the guy wasn't even 100 years old. The makeup made him
I
look
bet he
old.
was like 80 something, and they just
The-
Hollywood magic.
The makeup.
All right, Mad Max won.
You think so?
Mad Max won. Like Revenant looks great, like the styling's great, but like, come on.
You think it's
Mad-
that sure?
Yeah.
Well, what was so great about the makeup? I get. Whoa. What's his name? The villain.
I don't.
That was
remember.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
His
Every
mask.
every design, every mask, every even to the spray they do, everything
Furiosa.
about them. They all.
Oh yeah,
look
the spray.
Yeah. Mad Max won.
Oh, that was
It's
cool.
not even a question.
because that was just so unique.
Yeah. It took you like.
But the Revenant, like he's injured all the time. They have all that like blood and stuff. The Fur Trapper. I'll go Mad Max. I agree with
Yeah.
you. I think, yeah, that should win. We have a lot of Mad. I don't think we've picked the Revenant yet. I think we've only done Mad Max.
Sorry, Leo.
All right, what are we gonna go to next? We're gonna go to music and original score.
All right.
All right, so that is, of course, the music in the background. So we have Bridge of Spies, Carol, The Hateful Eight, Sicario, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So
Have not seen Bridge of Spies and Carol.
Bridge of Spies score was cool, but I think this is a 2-horse race between The Hateful Eight and Star Wars. I think that, because it's John Williams. If John Williams is nominated, you have to consider him. But he just kind of played a lot of similar tones
Yeah, I
he's
agree.
done in
Like,
the past.
There wasn't any like Duel of Fates or like Imperial March, like big new song on Star
Agreed.
Wars, but all Star Wars music's great. I think Sicario more so than Hateful Eight. If
Okay,
you were-
did you see the roadshow, though, of Hateful Eight?
No.
Because the overture,
Yeah, I was really upset I didn't.
here's why. Why do you think Sicario?
Do you remember the the highway scene and all those scenes?
right.
The score was like so powerful. It was kind of reminded me like of Interstellar, where the score is so powerful that you feel like you're like on a spaceship. You felt like you were there.
The tension.
Yeah, it was perfect tension music. Sicario should and would.
Okay. Here's why Hateful Eight will win.
Oh,
You have a composer here named Ennio Morricone.
yes, I know.
This is the guy who did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is the guy who did old Western films and he got nominated a bunch of times. Never won. Never won. John Williams is one. I don't know who did Sicario, but we can look that up. Do you have that on your phone?
I do not.
Say who did Sicario. But this is like a Lifetime Award, basically. And if you saw the Roadshow, there's an overture that's just the music for like 5 minutes, and then the movie starts, and then at the intermission, it's the music. And I think he deserves it. Oh, it's Johann Johansson. He won last year for Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh.
He was nominated twice last year, actually. I don't think he's going to get it again. I think it's The Hateful Eight. I think that should win, and I think that will win.
All right. Looks like we disagree there.
We'll disagree there, and we will see what happens on Oscar night. Musical original song. This is probably the weirdest category here in terms of the nominations. You have Earned It from 50 Shades of Grey.
Have not seen that movie.
50 Shades of Grey is nominated for an Oscar.
Have you seen it?
No.
No? You
No.
sure?
No.
No.
Promise you I've not. Did not spend my money on that one. Manta Ray, Racing Extinction, Simple Song 3, Youth, Till It Happens to You, Hunting Ground, which is a documentary, and Writings on the Wall, Spectre, which I found really underwhelming. I know you've never seen a James Bond movie. Yes, Jake's never seen a James Bond movie.
I've heard the music, though.
Writings on the Wall is no Skyfall.
Yeah. Like, I do love Bond songs. Live and Let Die is obviously the greatest one ever written. You're wrong if you say so otherwise, because
Okay.
McCartney.
Okay.
But, like, Skyfall sounded so much like a Bond song. And then, what's this one called?
Writings on the Wall.
Yeah, it's just very
bad,
generic. It's not
but yeah.
bad. It's just generic. Like, it's not like that Bond song you really need.
It didn't hit me like Skyfall did.
Yeah.
But what do you pick? I don't think anything here is good.
I don't think I've seen any of these movies. No, I have not.
So I think on that basis alone, it's going to be Writings on the Wall. Even though I think it's far from the best. If 50 Shades wins,
You're seeing it.
I'm probably going to lose a lot of respect for the Oscars, but even though I'll still watch it every year. But that'll piss me off.
I don't really have that much respect for that.
If 50 Shades wins an Oscar, come on. And Sicario doesn't, there's something wrong in the world. Trump 2016. All right, anyway, we're going to go. Writings on the Wall, I think, is going to win, even though I don't think it should win.
All right.
So, production design. On to production design. Bridge of Spies, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, and The Revenant.
Again,
That's a hard race.
I've not seen Bridge of Spies or Danish Girl.
Okay, there is a scene in Bridge of Spies that is basically them building the Berlin Wall. That's phenomenal. The design is fantastic. Like, every Spielberg movie, I think, has an incredible production design. Think of any of them. You are in that time period, it's always fantastic. That being said, you have The Martian, which put you on Mars. You were on Mars.
I know what you're saying. I like The Revenant was cool too, but like it wasn't much. I'm gonna say Mad Max again for
Really?
the production design. Yeah, I didn't even love the movie this much, but like it
The
clearly,
technical was great.
Yeah, Mad Max should and would
And would?
and would. I think so.
You think they're going to just give it? I mean,
The Martian? It was good, but like Interstellar and 2001 like are my two favorite space movies, and that.
so
it
here's
was
the thing about
very
The Martian.
underwhelming.
The
compared
Martian
to
got nominated for a lot of things.
Yes.
So if you just, I'm thinking as like an Academy voter, that people like this movie. It got nominated for so many things.
One best comedy.
It got Best Comedy at the Golden Globes, but that's very different from the Oscars. But it got nominated for a bunch of stuff, and I think I don't think it's gonna win really anything, but maybe this one. I think it could pull out. He did get snubbed. Ridley Scott got snubbed for Best Director because I thought that movie was really well directed. Mm-hmm. So I think they might reward him here with a production design Oscar, just to give that movie something. I think it could be The Martian, or I see what you're saying about Mad Max. I just don't know how much, like, would you constitute just cars? It's a lot of just moving cars.
Yeah, but like they had to like
They had to design-
choreograph it
oh,
all.
right.
They have like.
Would you put
location.
choreography under production design?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm going to throw a third option, which is could. I think Bridge of Spies could win.
Well, they all could win. That's why they're nominated.
Well, I don't think The Danish Girl will win. Even though it's gorgeous. That movie, the whole movie's production design. That's what kind of bothered me about that one. Mm-hmm. It's all just how it looks. Like, it's about two painters. And, yeah. So, yeah, this one's actually a really hard category. I'm going to go with, I think The Martian should win, but I think Mad Max will win.
All right.
Okay, we're past that one. We're wrapping it up here. We're getting to the big categories. So now we're going to go to, we're going to cinematography. Yes, cinematography. Okay, so there's Carol, The Hateful Eight, which, by the way, was shot in all 70 millimeter. Mad Max, Fury Road. Was it 35?
I'm not sure
It
anymore.
was 70 millimeter. Mad Max, Fury Road, The Revenant, and Sicario.
I have not seen Carol.
This Okay, obviously The Revenant is phenomenally shot.
All right, I'll say this. I would have loved Hateful Eight too, but he did kind of... It all takes place in a cabin.
Right, if you're going to do 70 millimeter, show me some, like,
Well,
Indians
I know,
taking out things in the wilderness.
I appreciated, like, doing 70 millimeter specifically, and it all takes place indoors, but, like, it wasn't anything special.
Right.
So
It
that's...
was cool for the beginning, but then it just didn't matter. It was kind of a gimmick.
I was out. I think it's Mad Max or The Revenant here. Sicario looked amazing, too.
That night scene.
Okay.
Well, who was the cinematographer? It's the guy who does all the Coen Brothers movies. He's my favorite cinematographer. Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name.
I don't like him that much.
I do like him actually a lot. He's never won, while Lubeski, who did The Revenant, did. Oh yeah, Roger Deakins did Sicario. I think it's gonna be The Revenant. That's what's gonna win. I think.
Yeah, it's a very Oscar baity kind of cinematography.
Well, it's really well done.
It's done really well, but
and he's won 2 years in a row for Gravity and Birdman. And I mean the opening scenes with like the Indians taking out
that fight
all one
scene.
take. Oh my god. The fight scene with the bear, everything. The movie cinematography.
I'm going to do an unprecedented pick. I'm going to do a three-way tie between The Revenant, Mad Max, and Sicario for would win.
I don't think Mad Max will get cinematography.
You don't think so?
I think it could tie Revenant, Sicario, but not. I don't think Mad Max will win.
I mean, the more I think about Mad Max, it's all like cinematography and design and all of that. That's really what the movie is. Then it's a three-way tie.
But we think The Revenant's winning regardless. Maybe it ties with something. No, I think it's The Revenant.
Ties. They open the envelope.
They've done that. They've done that. No, people have tied. I think for Django Unchained and Zero Dark 30 tied for I think sound mixing in 2012.
Really?
There are ties. It's very rare, but there are ties.
Was that one televised?
Yeah. I think Mark Wahlberg gave out the award. I remember.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yes, that's a little bit of Oscar trivia for you. You can look up Oscar ties while we're doing this. But I think so. We both think The Revenant will win. You think there might be a tie.
A three-way tie.
A three-way tie. Oh, that's very unprecedented. Which means out of all the thousands of cinematographers that voted here, it's going to be a three-way tie.
All right. So this article, it's loading now. It says it's happened 6 times in history.
Name them.
All right, it's loading, man. Mm-hmm. Internet's not that great.
Not that great?
Not that great.
Tell me if I was right with sound mixing, Zero Dark 30, Django Unchained.
Mark Wahlberg announced a tie for the Best Sound Editing Oscar. The editors from Zero Dark 30 and Skyfall.
Skyfall! Oh, I thought it was Django Unchained. Damn it. I thought I had that. All right.
Yeah. Only 6 times.
That was sound editing.
That was...
Sound mixing. Sound editing.
Best sound editing.
Best sound editing. Yes. Okay, who else won? Who else is tied?
We got in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and The Champ in 32.
Oh, wow. So it was 70 years before the other one?
Well, I think that's the first one. God. There's one in 49, one in 68, 86. So it's not often.
What was 86?
86 was The Lion in Winter and Funny Girl.
I haven't seen either of those. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to move on to costume design. I can't speak to this. I'm not an expert on this, but I mean, we look at the nominations. It's Carol, Cinderella, only thing I got nominated for, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant. I haven't seen Carol. Carol and Brooklyn are the 2 movies I have not seen. Just because I wasn't too eager to see them.
Or Danish Girl.
But from what I'm hearing about, the thing about Danish Girl is it's a bit of a period piece, and they're artists, and like it's a guy in women's clothing, and it just looked. The costumes in that movie are really good, but the Revenant's costumes are like, those are so detailed, old, rugged.
Shit, I really don't want to keep doing this, but I think Mad Max is
You think Mad Max is gonna sweep a lot of them, don't you? But well, what about the specific costumes? I don't think there was anything that impressive with the specific costumes. I think the makeup and hairstyle was very unique. And yes, of course, but like a lot of them were shirtless and just had, white put on them. I think the thing with the Revenant, like they're fur trappers and they had all that gear on, all the Native Americans chasing after them. And then you can go to the Danish Girl and It's a really unique period piece. So everyone's in that clothing. And then you mentioned, I mean, Cinderella got enough votes to get nominated, so it means people like it.
Then so did 50 Shades of Grey, so
right.
Let's not use that argument.
I guess.
All right, so they're the only two movies I've seen, so it's between Mad Max and Revenant for me. I'm just going to say Revenant because I don't want to keep giving stuff to Mad Max.
I'm going to say I think the Revenant should win. I think the Danish Girl would win.
All right.
All right, so now we're going to do writing now. We're going to do adapted screenplay.
All right.
Do you have those nominations up there?
Yeah, I'm looking for them.
You read those out. Adapted screenplay.
Original screenplay. Right, adapted screenplay. We got The Big Short, Brooklyn, Carol, The Martian, and Room.
It's the first time we've seen Brooklyn right now.
What's that?
It's the first nomination for Brooklyn we've read out. We're in the room.
So I've only seen Big Short and The Martian, and these.
Well, The Martian is interesting because the book was so acclaimed and how funny it was, and I think they captured that in the movie. Mm-hmm. But then something like The Big Short, which is really complicated.
What is that adapted from? I thought
there's a book called The Big Short.
Oh yeah. I think The Big Short.
But to make that book about the stock market interesting, that's a testament to itself. I think, I'm with you on The Big Short there. But I think The Martian, that's hard actually.
I don't know, because I remember after I saw The Martian, I was looking up the differences between the book. And I mean, of course, it's people online are always assholes and say the book is better. But I read that a lot, that they thought the book was better than the movie. So I guess that plays to the adaptation. Again, I haven't read the book, so I'm not sure. And it could just be internet people. But I'm going to go Big Short. Should and could.
Should and could, okay.
And
or should and would. I think The Big Short obviously should win. I think they'd... what would win? I think The Big Short would win. Just because it's so hard to make something like that interesting, and they did.
Exactly.
And that was all through how the screenplay was adapted.
T for Temple U. Adam McKay.
That's right. Represent. All right, now original screenplay. So you have those?
Oh. I do. I'm looking at them right now.
Go for it. Read them.
Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, Spotlight, and Straight Outta Compton.
Okay, so this is what's confusing with original and adapted. Original, so you have two things here that are off real events.
But there's a difference between based off a previous writing versus based off of a true story.
But for Bridge of Spies, there's obviously documents you're going off of, court cases. I mean, he's a lawyer. And then Spotlight. The Spotlight's, you read them one more time?
Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, Spotlight, and Straight Outta Compton.
You think they give it to Straight Outta Compton just to be
just to try to be the first?
Even though it's all white guys who adapted it?
No, I'm gonna say I love this movie so much. I've only seen Ex Machina and Straight Outta Compton of these, but Ex Machina.
You haven't seen Inside Out?
No, I've told you this.
Oh my god! Do yourself a favor. Above everything else.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's the best movie of last year.
All right.
And you know what? I think Inside Out should win. Mm-hmm. I don't think it will. I think. But then there's Ex Machina.
That's my should and would is Ex Machina. Such a cleverly written movie. Yeah. The way they develop the characters, it's great.
Well, Inside Out. They wrote about emotions. How original is that? They made emotions characters in someone's mind, in a little girl's mind, and they told a story about her going through. Not puberty, but she's going through a change in she's going to the next stage of her life, and just how all that works. And what was so brilliant about that movie was the writing, because that could be awful. You could have character of Joy. Joy technically could be the most annoying character of all time. Just have someone who's always happy, always happy. But the dialogue and how her character is written is so well done and so original that they made it entertaining. And I don't know. I remember walking out of that movie and just being thinking about my own emotions in a way I never thought of them before. And then I know of kids who are anger's getting in my head again. Anger's getting mad. They talk about it. I think Inside Out should win most original screenplay just because it's so original. Where I've seen an AI type movie before, not to the extent of Ex Machina. Mm-hmm. And I've seen I mean, I just don't think that, like, when you say original screenplay, that Spotlight is that original. It doesn't encapsulate that category so much. Or does Bridge of Spies make that category original? It's a true story. Same with Straight Outta Compton. So I think Inside Out should win. But when I'm thinking like the Academy and what they're voting and how they all this crap, I bet they would give it to Straight Outta Compton.
You really think they do that? That like, oh, we're getting scrutiny. Let's give a movie that has black people in it just because. I'm sticking by my Ex Machina.
What else would you give it? I mean, if Ex Machina won it, that'd be cool.
I mean, I have not seen Inside Out or Spotlight, 2 movies I really want to see. Bridge of Spies, I wasn't that excited to see, but Ex Machina. That's
all right. You know what?
so
You swayed me. I'm gonna say that one will win. I think Inside Out should have won.
All
right. So now we're getting into, I think, acting. Am I wrong? Did we do everything? Yeah, we did all that. Oh no, let's go to. Do you want to do supporting actors now? No, let's do animated feature. So best animated feature.
All of which I have not seen.
Oh, that sucks. So the nominees are Anomalisa, Boy and the World, Inside Out, Shaun the Sheep, and When Marnie Was There, an anime film.
I'm just gonna say, from everything I've heard about it, Inside Out should and would.
Inside Out should and would, but I'm not gonna. I have to talk about this movie just because I saw it. I saw Anomalisa.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to see Room. I missed the showtime, so I saw Anomalisa. And that movie is really interesting. I think I've told you about it before, but it's basically it's a really, really unique movie that it just didn't fully work for me, but like the idea was so original and so well done. It's all puppets, first of all, and it's this guy who's depressed. He writes books for telecommunicators. People answer the phone for companies and like try to help each other. And anyway, he's going on like a press tour, and he's leaving his wife and his kids, and he's on a plane. He's just thinking about life. He's all depressed, and he looks like a puppet, like so much so that the puppet design is to like make you see where they put the face on the puppet. Like you can kind of see that there's like a little face.
Wait, so is it
mask.
Animated to look like puppets, or is it actual puppets?
It's actual puppets. I think it's stop motion actual puppets. And now every single character in the movie is voiced by this one guy. Even the female characters are like, is this guy doing a voice? But they're all this guy's voice.
Well,
that's the main character's. The main character. There's 3 voices in the movie. The main character, and then every other voice.
Do it like The Simpsons and have everyone play like 500 characters.
So those are the 2 voices, and then the third voice is he meets a girl who has a unique voice, and it's a woman's voice. It's voiced by Jennifer Jason Leigh, who's in Hateful Eight.
Oh, really?
And it's kind of like it's all symbolism. So like he thinks everyone sounds the same, blatantly, and then when he meets this woman who's like a fan of his, he like tries to connect with her, and like he falls in love with her all in one night, and it's kind of crazy. And there's puppet stuff that I did not expect to see.
Tell me one specific scene that you didn't expect to see in that.
A sex scene with puppets, completely naked. And they show I was like, all right, we're doing this.
They can get away with that because they're puppets.
That was bold. Yeah, that was very bold. Really unique movie. I never seen anything like it. I think Inside Out's a better movie, though. For everyone. If it's more appealing to everyone, I think it's more unique.
All
right, so now we're getting into supporting actors and actresses. Let's start with actress, because the ladies fest. Supporting actress nominees: Jennifer Jason Leigh, The Hateful Eight; Rooney Mara for Carol; Rachel McAdams for Spotlight; Alicia Vikander, not for Ex Machina, but for The Danish Girl; and Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs.
All right, I've only seen Hateful Eight. I am seeing Spotlight and Steve Jobs later.
Well, here's one quick pet peeve I have. This is, I think, another problem with the Oscars and the supporting actor and lead actor nominees. There have been so many years where the winner of the supporting actor or actress role has gone to someone who had more screen time. If you ask me, Django Unchained, Christoph Waltz's character is a main actor. He's a lead character. He's in it as much as Django is, the entire movie.
Yeah.
He won for supporting actor that year because he has so much screen time. He's in 2 hours of that movie.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but he's still technically he's not the main. He's not the protagonist.
He's not the main character, but I think he's a lead actor. DiCaprio in that movie is a supporting actor.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's
see
a
the point you're
lead.
making.
Right. So then, like, he's on the poster with Django. Every poster, it's Christoph Waltz and Django. He won that year. Same thing goes with the Danish girl for Alicia Vikander. She's a lead in that movie. It's her and the movie's called The Danish Girl, but the movie's it's her and her husband. The whole movie. She's a lead in that movie. So if she wins, I think she's fantastic in it. I think there's an argument to be made that she would win, Best Actress, but I really think they just threw her in that category because she's a better shot of winning in supporting actress than she does main actress because Brie Larson's a main actress. So I think she's would win. Even though I do think she's great, but I don't think she should win. So I think she will win. From Rachel McAdams with Spotlight. Spotlight's an ensemble piece. Everyone's a supporting actor in that. And I just don't think... I think Rachel McAdams did a fantastic job, but it's a supporting cast. Mm-hmm. So, and then with Kate Winslet, she won the Golden Globe, and then she's great in Steve Jobs. I think she's great because she doesn't have an accent. I didn't even recognize it was her until after the movie. I was like, oh crap, that was Kate Winslet. So then I think it comes down to Rooney Mara or a Vikander, because I don't think Jennifer Jason Leigh will win. Do you?
I don't know.
She was good.
She was really good in it. I mean, I have to say she'll win because I haven't seen any other ones, so that's the best performance I've seen.
See, I think Vikander will win, but I think an actress like Rooney Mara, who has been so consistently good over the years, she's like really unique with all the roles she picks. She doesn't pick blockbuster hits. She does characters that she's actually interested in playing. Mm-hmm. I think she should win, but I think it's going to be Vikander who wins, even though she is fantastic in that. I'm not crapping on her performance in either Ex Machina or Danish Girl, but I just don't think she should be nominated for that.
All right.
Okay, supporting actor. Can you read that one off?
We got Christian Bale for The Big Short, Tom Hardy for The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight, Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester
Stallone
Creed, yeah.
for Creed.
All right.
Obviously, you know what I'm picking here. Sylvester Stallone should and would. Can I just...
You're saying... Okay.
Let me vent on this.
Let me hear this totally unbiased opinion here.
Okay. This is a guy whose career started 40 years ago. 40! 1976. Mm-hmm. 40 years ago. Nominated for Best Actor. Didn't win. But this guy wrote the movie. He sold the rights to MGM. They made it. Lead actor. He said, don't make the movie unless I'm the lead actor. He doesn't want anyone else doing it. And they did it. That's ballsy that he did that and made his career. Arguably, he hasn't done a better movie since until Creed. Fantastic. I love Stallone. He's like my idol. I mean, yes, he's had a lot of crap in between, but that's the whole thing with Rocky is, he had redemption. And he did not win Best Actor that year. He did not win. He should have won. He didn't win Best Actor that year.
Won Best Picture.
It won Best Picture, but didn't win Best... did it win Best Writing? I think it won Best... No, it didn't win Best Writing either. So everything he was nominated for, he did that movie. He didn't win any award, which is fine. It still got Best Picture, which is the most important one. He, 40 years later, the same character, and he does something unique with it. That's amazing. And he's phenomenal in it. When you see it, I mean, you've seen the trailers and stuff like that. There is a whole... Should I talk about how he gets sick a little bit in the movie? There's a whole cancer theme. There's a cancer theme where he's phenomenal in it. He gives a speech. This is what I envision. This is happening Sunday night. Supporting actor is one of the first nominees they read off just to get everyone interested. An acting nomination. And then they go into all the sound and stuff. They're going to read off they're going to be okay, best supporting actor. They're going to throw all the names up and you're going to be oh, those are cool. And then it's going to be Sylvester Stallone. Everyone's going to lose their mind. And they're going to open the envelope. It's going to be Sylvester Stallone. He's going to run up, grab his Oscar.
Run up the stairs like Rocky.
Run up the stairs like Rocky, baby. It's exactly what I'm talking about, Jake. He's going to put both of his arms up. He's not going to say anything. Bring him down. Everyone's going to be cheering. Standing O. He's not even going to be able to talk. You can't hear him because everyone's standing ovation clapping for him because this guy just did 40 years of the same character and he killed it the last time. Killed it. I think he's better in Creed than he is in the first Rocky. Are
you really going to go on record
I might not go there.
that?
I might not go there. As good, though. He's so good in Creed. And as a supporting character. That's a supporting role. Yeah, he's going to open his speech up by saying... like he's gonna talk about his career, thanking people, he's gonna be like, I did a lot of crap in between, the first Rocky and I did a lot of crap between the first Rocky and this one. But if I can change and you can change, everyone can change. And then everyone's gonna clap, and then he's gonna be like, if I could just say one more thing, to quote Rocky 2, to my wife and kid at home, yo, Adrian, I did it. And he's gonna walk off the stage, and they're just gonna end the show there. Because it's not going to get better than that. They should save the supporting actor. Like, they shouldn't read that nomination off as after Best Picture. It's going to be that big. He's going to win this, damn it. But if he doesn't, who do you think should win?
Well, seeing I've only seen Big Short and Revenant out of these so far, I'd say Tom Hardy did a better job than Christian Bale. Just in
Absolutely.
General. So,
Tom Hardy, I think, might have done better than DiCaprio. He's that good in it, though.
He is.
Tom Hardy is so good in that movie. He had the best year with Mad Max and The Revenant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying Tom Hardy up until I see the rest of them.
Look, if Tom Hardy wins, I'll be pissed.
Of course you will.
But I'll get over it.
Will you really get over it? You just went on a
I'll get over
10-minute rant.
I'll get over it because he's good in that movie. Now, if
he's good. But here's what would happen if Rocky won.
If Christian Bale wins, I'll be pissed, and I will not get over it because
he was good, but
he had like a cool lazy eye.
Yeah,
Mark Ruffalo
can do himself.
Mark Ruffalo's great in that movie. I think he got nominated for the wrong one though. I think he was better in this other movie called Polar Bear. Shoot, what was it? It's like Identifying Polar Bear. I don't know. But he's great in it. I think it's still in there all the way. Tom Hardy could win. So now we got.
Do we got the big three left?
Plus me. We got the big three left. You read them off, Jake. Best lead actress.
All right, lead actress.
Lord.
All right, we got We got Kate Blanchett and Carol, Brie Larson in Room, Jennifer Lawrence in Joy, Charlotte Rampling in 45 Years, and in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yay. Okay, so I've seen two of these.
I've seen none.
I saw Room last night, and I saw Joy. Now, Jennifer Lawrence, I think the Academy just loves her. I think, and they just, she was in the movie, let's nominate her.
From what I've heard, because my parents saw Joy and told me about it, she shouldn't get it. I'm not saying she's a bad actress. I'm just saying it seemed underwhelming.
She was fine in it. She was fine in it. Not great. Like, I don't think she should have been nominated. I think they should have put Alicia Vikander in there. But no, she won't. If she wins, I'll be really mad because Brie Larson's the best performance of the year, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. She's the best performance out of all the categories.
Did you buy that or rent that?
I rented it.
Damn.
You could watch it today. She brought so much life and passion into her performance in Room. So many emotional scenes, and it's not really like a quote-unquote Oscar role. Like, she wasn't a woman that got like abused or something like that. She wasn't, I'm trying to think of like past winners. She wasn't like a depressed like human being.
She
or
wasn't
like a
Meryl
dancer.
Streep.
She wasn't Meryl Streep. She wasn't Black Swan Natalie Portman. Like, it wasn't an Oscar role. She just knocked it out of the park so much. Like, this role could have been kind of just depressing and flat, but she is like this natural likability about her that you're rooting for her from the get-go. And she's just like, she's not drop dead gorgeous like other actresses are that are put in those roles. She's like, I think she's really pretty.
She's pretty cute.
She's really pretty, but like, I don't think she's like, J-Lo. Like, she is, I think she was just perfectly cast in this role. And I think she knocked it out of the park. This is her Jennifer Lawrence Winter's Bone, if you saw that movie. She got nominated in like 2011, and then after that, she was in everything. Hunger Games, all the David O. Russell films. I think this is her like coming out party to the Oscars with this movie Room. Like, she was in Trainwreck this year. She was in 21 Jump Street, and now this is the movie that gets her on the map. It's Room, and she's gonna win, and she's gonna be amazing for the rest of our lives, just like J-Lo.
All right.
I think that's the most sure win on here, actually. Out of every nomination, because this year, unlike other years, there were no like. I don't think this year there was a movie that was like, quote unquote, the best. Like last year, there were two. It was Birdman and Boyhood. Those were the two movies.
Oh, Boyhood.
Like when everyone.
See, this is another reason I don't like the Oscars.
Well, when everyone was talking about, Best Picture last year, it was between Boyhood and Birdman. It was like there was a clear two. And same with all the acting. It was Boyhood, Birdman, Boyhood, Birdman. This year, I think there were just a lot of. They're on the same level as each other. Okay, so we're going to lead actor now.
All right.
So I'll read this one off. So we got Bryan Cranston, Trumbo, Matt Damon, The Martian, Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant, Michael Fassbender, Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne, The Danish Girl. So I've seen a few
The
of these.
Martian and The Revenant. And if I'm thinking as me, I want Leo to win. And I'm thinking as the Academy, Leo can't win for some reason.
Right.
So
yes. This is
I'm
the year I
going
think he gets
should
it.
Leo, would Matt Damon, I guess.
I think this is the year that he's getting it. I mean,
Think so?
This is
I've
the
heard
guy.
Fassbender's great. Steve Jobs. I'm seeing that tomorrow.
He could be a dark horse win. When I saw him, I thought he was the best performance of the year. Because the thing about Fassbender and Steve Jobs, this is how good his performance is. He doesn't look anything like Steve Jobs. But you forget that 5 minutes in. And that's a part to the script and his performance. I forgot. I was like, oh, because Ashton Kutcher played him in the Jobs movie, and he looks just like him. He doesn't look anything like him. And I'm totally buying, oh, that's Steve Jobs. 5 minutes in the movie. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's totally him. He's talking like him, everything. So that's a testament to his performance. That's really rare. And I would have said Eddie Redmayne if he hadn't won last year. But he already got like that typical Oscar role, and he's playing a transgender, and I just
Too Oscar baity.
no, he got it last year. No, he's not getting it this year. Matt Damon's great, but no.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Bryan Cranston in Trumbo, but I heard he's the only thing that's good about that movie, and since the movie isn't that great, I heard it's fine. I don't think he'll win that, but DiCaprio, I think the stars have aligned. Like it's a sure possibility that Fassbender could win or Bryan Cranston could come out, but like I think it's DiCaprio because they know that he hasn't gotten it so many times, and I think they're going to reward him this year. Like there have been so many, and he's gotten unlucky in past years. Like in every year that I think he's lost, I do believe there was another performance or performer that gave the best performance of their life, because that's the hardest thing about the Oscars. It's you have to be great, but you have to be the best that year. And DiCaprio is amazing, but every year he does a good performance. Someone might have the best performance of their life. Like,
So are you going to say this is his best performance of his life?
I'd have to think about that one. I don't think it is, but I think
I don't.
I think he was the best this year, if that makes sense. I think
right. Yeah.
If you're looking at like 2013, he got nominated for Wolf of Wall Street, but Matthew McConaughey did Dallas Buyers Club. I think DiCaprio was amazing with Wall Street, but he had the best performance of his life in Dallas Buyers Club. And same thing with the year Aviator came out. I mean, he's going up against the same year Gangs in New York. He's going up against Day-Lewis. Like, there have just been countless times where he's going up against
Day-Lewis
someone
for what?
for Gangs in New York.
Both for.
I think they were
lead
both
actor?
nominated. Yeah,
Wow.
but he lost. Oh wait, did he win? I think he won for Gangs in New York.
Huh.
No, I'm thinking Aviator. He lost to Day-Lewis for There Will Be Blood, and it's just like
Day-Lewis was great.
right. So it's just like you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
He's gotten screwed every year, and this is the year.
So, I'm going to say should Leo. I'm going to say would, just thinking as the Academy.
Right.
Fassbender.
That's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm gonna go should and would DiCaprio, even though it's not like that sure thing.
Yep. We're all rooting for you, bud.
All written for you, man.
Do it, Leo.
Even he doesn't have that much dialogue too in that movie.
It's not
a
about
lot
the
of just
dialogue.
physical
It's
acting.
not about the dialogue.
You're right.
Anyone can read words off a paper.
Anyone can do that.
Why don't you read words off the paper for the next thing? Don't mess up though, because anyone can do it.
Best Picture, The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight.
Very good.
Aside from that production design one, I think this is the hardest category.
All right, I
really do think
I'm
so.
gonna think out loud here. Gonna throw my cards on the table. Have not seen Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn,
We know.
Room, and Spotlight.
We know.
So right now. This category is between The Martian, Revenant, Mad Max, and Big Short for me.
And
All right,
this is really a hard category
Mad Max won't win Best Picture.
because there is no clear.
I don't
Best.
think Mad Max can win Best Picture. It was
That would be
all
amazing if that happened.
all the
though.
aspects of it, like in
Yeah.
their respective categories, were great. I don't see it winning Best Picture.
I know, but like, if it wins all those other ones, it's like, how can it not? But I don't know. It's just, that's what makes this so hard is there's no clear win. So like I could even see The Big Short winning.
I couldn't see The Big Short winning.
You don't think so?
I remember as soon as it ended, I'm like, I really
It's
like
relevant.
that movie. I don't think it can win anything except editing, which I think I said.
But it's relevant. It's really relevant. It's really I don't know. I think that has it has like a lot of stuff going for it right now. It's being talked about a lot. It got released late.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Mad Max. No way.
No way.
No way.
You don't even think it has a shot?
No, as just a general movie, it's like all the production, the design, the cinematography. That's the great part.
Okay.
The movie, plot-wise, could have been done in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Big Short, I liked it a lot. I don't see it winning Best Picture.
You don't. Okay.
No.
So you're thinking Revenant.
The Martian, no.
Martian's not getting.
Yeah, I'm thinking The Revenant, and what I've heard, Spotlight is really good. I'm seeing that.
Okay,
So I'm going to go Revenant because it's very Oscar baity just in general, too.
along with what you were saying, Mad Max. If I had to pick for my should, I probably would say Mad Max.
You think Mad Max should win? Best Picture, we're talking here, bud.
Out of those nominations,
Yeah.
it's Mad Max or Spotlight for who I think should win.
Okay.
Because Mad Max just blew me away. I saw it 4 times in theaters. Paid for 2 of them. But I saw it 4 times. I thought it was endlessly entertaining. It's so rewatchable. The action's unlike anything I've ever seen before. The acting's great. It's such an original concept. It's the most well-directed movie I've seen since
Did we
the
skip
Lord of the
directing?
Rings films. What?
We skipped directing, didn't we?
Oh, crap, we did.
We'll do that after.
Shoot. Okay, yeah, we'll do that after. Whoops. Totally skipped directing. Good call. I think it's just such a well-done movie and so entertaining, like, and thoroughly thought out, too. I know you're saying the plot can be done in 10 minutes, but that's okay. Like, it's an action film. I'm not expecting that dense a plot. But you're right when you say that, because when you look at a film like Spotlight, that's a movie that I didn't know a lot about the subject matter. I'd heard about it. This one went in depth. It was about reporters. Reporter movies have won in the past. I think, and when that movie ended, I just looked over to what I saw it with, and I was like, that was interesting. That was so fascinating. You're locked in the whole time. There's no action sequences. It's just reporters walking around interviewing people, and it's insanely entertaining and really interesting. And it's kind of jaw-dropping by the end where you're like, this happened. This is real. Like, how did this happen? And all these people knew about it. I think
Revenant
Spotlight,
happened.
The Revenant, yeah. Well, and then The Revenant is just, it has that Mad Max thing where the craftsmanship is impeccable, and the directing is phenomenal, and the acting's phenomenal. So like that movie, even more so than Mad Max, of course in different aspects, but more so than Mad Max, the craftsmanship and production of that movie is phenomenal. When you read about all the stuff they had to go through shooting it and all that. So I think it's a 3-horse race between The Revenant, Mad Max, and Spotlight. But from what you said about Mad Max, I totally agree. I don't think it'll win because people have to say exactly what you thought. So I think that eliminates Mad Max, leaving it to either Revenant or Spotlight. The Revenant, in your E2, he won for Birdman last year. He sweeped it last year.
Which I was not happy about. I liked Birdman. Boyhood was.
Do you think Revenant's better than Birdman?
No.
You don't.
I liked Birdman more than The Revenant. I didn't love The Revenant.
They're
I
for
thought The
different-
Revenant was really good. I didn't
For
love
different
it.
reasons, though.
Yeah. I think Boyhood was better than Birdman, but
I
going.
think The Revenant should win. Spotlight will win.
all right. So.
Which is really weird because in past years, usually the Best Picture wins a bunch of other stuff, but I think that's the only thing Spotlight's getting is Best Picture. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the director real quick. Cannot believe we skipped that one. And there's also, this has been happening recently, but usually like the Best Picture winner has Best Director. The director's usually nominated. I think the only movie in the past couple of years where the director wasn't nominated and this movie won Best Picture was Argo, but that was like a whole thing where everyone thought Ben Affleck should have been nominated, and his movie won even though he wasn't nominated for Best Director. So, do we have the director?
We got directing The Big Short. It
Adam
doesn't
McKay.
list the director. So Big Short's Adam McKay. Mad Max is
George Miller.
Yes. Revenant.
Is Alejandro Gomez Iñárritu?
Room.
Whose Room? Oh, crap. His name's Andrew something. Oh, I forget.
And Spotlight.
Who is Room? Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a really hard one too. I think it's The Revenant. I think Revenant should win.
Yeah, the way it was shot
Yeah.
with the natural lighting, that's a very. I mean, I'm not
I don't think
dissing it. It's
yeah.
an Oscar baity way to do it, though. So
Right.
the Oscars will eat that up. It's gonna be The Revenant.
Well, and I don't know, just when everything that goes into it, you're like, that was all had to be directed, all had to be ordered, scheduled, and all that.
Yeah.
The thing about Room that could, I don't think it'll beat The Revenant, but like what was really interesting about the directing of Room is the whole beginning it all takes place in the room, of course, but as an audience member, you're watching it and you're kind of like you feel claustrophobic, like everything is in this room. At the same time, he makes the room feel huge because that's what it is to these two people who have been there for 7 years. It feels huge because that's all they know, and it's all this kid knows. So he can't even conceptualize that there is more than this room, and that I think came off really well. And when they go outside finally, the way it's directed is just phenomenal. It's so well done. There is a lot of great movies this year. There were many. I do think it's Alejandro Gomez Iñárritu though. I mean, if George Miller won for Mad Max,
That'd be cool.
that'd be awesome.
Revenant's got it.
Revenant's got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what we did skip though? We skipped documentary.
Oh, we did.
We skipped like 2, yeah. Okay, so there's Amy, Cartel Land, Looks of Silence, What Happened, Miss Simone, and Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom. I saw Amy.
I have not seen any of the. Oh wait, Amy was the Amy Poehler one. I saw like 2 minutes
Amy
of that.
Winehouse.
Yeah, Amy Winehouse.
And Cartel Land's on Netflix as well as the Ukraine movie is on Netflix. I think that was a Netflix
You know
produced
what?
movie.
I think Happy should win.
You think Happy? My
I
film?
think, yeah,
Aw.
the documentary that you're in the process of making. That's my pick.
Oh God! All right, guys. Well, that sums up this kind of bonus episode. I call it an episode of the Moviegoers Talk Show, but kind of just all improvise on the
I
fly.
call it tomato.
On a tomato, yeah, tomato. A lot of fun. Thank you for coming, Jake.
You are very
Want to
welcome.
Advertise or plug your YouTube, which is getting views.
Yeah, it is. It's just my name, Jake Siegelbaum. Siegelbaum, Segelbaum. Unlike many videos of Ryan's in the
Whoops.
past, where it's not spelled that way.
Yeah, I spelled it wrong a lot.
It's not really much there yet. I'm gonna start doing stuff shortly, but yeah.
And I'll keep those Indian those Bollywood reaction movies coming out. I've been doing a lot of trailer reactions for Bollywood films, and they're getting 5,000 views.
Minimum.
Minimum. Some as many as 50,000 views. So that'll be coming out there. If you are a Bollywood fan of mine and you're listening to this, please comment below. Tell me what you think. And if you're just a fan in general, guys, comment below. Who do you think is going to win Best Picture? This is a very interesting year. I think more so than the past 5 years of the Oscars. I don't think this is the best year of movies in a while, but in terms of like the nominations, it's very interesting. I don't know who's going to win. There's no sure thing in a lot of the categories, I think, other than like directing or best actress. So we will see, and hopefully Stallone wins. If Stallone wins, I'll be losing my mind.
I'm gonna like text you after if he does to make sure you're okay and you're not like burning cars and rioting in joy.
Hopefully I can do something. Maybe I'll be in the hotel. I'm either going to be in the hotel in LA watching it, or my dad and I are going to like try to do the red carpet and we're going to fail because we don't know what we're doing at all.
So yeah, but even if you do the red carpet, then you'll just be outside during the show. You won't see it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Maybe there's a restaurant nearby. I don't know what's going to be like. Maybe there's an In-N-Out burger. I don't know. Just listing things from LA. Maybe there's a beach with a TV.
Ventura Boulevard. That's
Right.
a street.
Yeah, and
The Hollywood
the
sign.
Drive. Yeah, the Hollywood sign.
Capitol Records.
Mulholland Drive.
Have you not seen that movie?
I haven't seen the movie.
It's an interesting one.
Okay, with all that being said, thank you guys for listening to the Moviegoers Talk Show. I'm Ryan Nilsen. That's Jake Siegelbaum.
Siegel. Sure.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.